Rebecca George, and I'm from Greenville, Texas.
Lacey Cunningham, I'm from Greenville, Texas.
My name is Audrey, and I'm from San Antonio.
Sean Baker, I'm from Greenville, Texas.
Sadie, and I'm from Greenville.
I'm Dorsey George, and I'm from Greenville, Texas.
Yes, I have. I think that women in general are treated differently in businesses such as car dealerships, say if you were going to buy a house, and I think that has to do with the people that are working there tend to think that that a woman does not have as much knowledge or information, and that they can take full advantage of that.
Yes, a couple serving jobs I tried to get, I was denied because I'm a big, scary, hairy man. And they don't technically like that when you're a server. I mean, they got the guys that are kind of like not really hairy and not really masculine and scary. Those guys got the job, but I got denied because I'm a big, scary, hairy man.
I think I have. One time it was me and a guy, we were going for an executive director of an assisted living, and he got it, but it was kind of like everybody who was interviewing us were men, and so I kind of felt like it was the good old boys club because I was way more qualified in my education and in my work history, and he got it. He lasted about a month, about 6 months, and then he got fired. So
Yes, I work as a waitress, and half the time when someone comes in for an interview, if they're a girl, they'll get the job automatically. If they're a guy, usually they'll tell them to come back. It's just, I guess they want girls as waitresses and the guys in the kitchen cooking.
I haven't personally experienced gender inequality, but I can say that since I work with other engineers in a firm that's almost all men, very, very few women, that you could say that the underrepresentation of women in aerospace engineering where I work is kind of an example of that.
I think that they can have the same abilities, but it's really more like an inner type thing, whether they want to use those abilities or not, where as women are more nurturing, as men are more like the protectors. So even though we can protect, we kind of leave that up to the men, just because that's kind of like their gender role. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. No, I think men are more strong and more good at labor other than girl jobs, which usually we can do waitresses or we can be a secretary or something like that. Men are usually like working on fences or the oil rigs or stuff like that. They're more cut out for that than a woman would be.
I don't believe so, and I mean, we can kind of tie that into kids too, like little girls. There are certain things that a father will teach a little girl that a mother can't, and there are certain things that a mother will teach a daughter that a father cannot.
I think men and women in general have same abilities, but I think they were not created to be the same. Women are more nurturing than men in general, and we tend to look at things in a different way. Sometimes we approach things in different ways, but I think that we were made to complement. A male and a female were made to complement each other, not be the same.
In some cases, yes, and in some cases, no. The reason I say yes is because there are jobs that we can both do, desk jobs, serving jobs, some serving jobs. And then no would be more like on the heavy end, some construction, lifting, more like the lifting area, not much. I mean, they're probably more intelligent than we are anyway. But, yeah, so yes and no. Just depends on the case.
I would say that there are differences between men and women abilities. I believe God created us differently as far as our abilities as women and men. Women have a very soft touch, a very loving and thoughtful. They understand emotions in ways, and they perceive things in ways that a lot of men don't. A lot of men, though, have physical strength skills, sometimes skills with working in their hands in ways that women don't have. But women, I'd say, are very good at making snickerdoodle cookies. Men are very good at taking out the trash.
I think the mom has more majority of the responsibility because they're the ones that have to carry it, and then after, if they breastfeed or if they don't breastfeed, either way, they have to make sure that the baby's getting fed on time, having their diapers changed regularly. And when the kid matures and gets a little bit older, the mom has to make sure all of the health insurance is done, make sure that they have food on the table no matter what. It doesn't matter if they don't even get to eat, like the kid eats before them, and the dads just kind of get to sit back and relax because they see the mom doing all the responsibilities, so they're just like, okay, this is an easy ride. And then when the kids are older, the dad will sit there and say, I did great, but in reality it was the mom that made sure that everything was going accordingly and on track.
Well, both men and women have a lot of responsibilities in relationships. I would say they kind of have very similar responsibilities to both care for each other, be considerate of each other, be willing to just be understanding and go with the flow, and to know that there's always ups and downs, but the important thing is they're devoted for each other, and so either party should do whatever is appropriate to help the relationship way. In terms of parenting, I would say there are more differences in responsibilities, although again a lot of them kind of overlap. I know for women, raising young children is perhaps the biggest responsibility of all in mankind. It is such a challenge. It is physically, emotionally, mentally, everything challenging to do that role. But it is so critical as far as the forming of our future society. The role that men traditionally have with being the breadwinners, protectors of the household, providing the infrastructure for the family is very important too. So they all have very important roles. A lot of times they can overlap in responsibilities, but I would say that's kind of how I would sum up the differences in those relationships.
Well, in relationships, the man should be the one making the money and taking care of his woman. But at the same time, he also has some responsibilities as doing dishes, taking out the trash. And then he shouldn't rely on his woman's income to completely cover the bills because she's not, she shouldn't be required to do that. That's where the manly, masculine part of him is supposed to step up and take care of her. And in parenting, it's basically the same way, except for you both need to be there for your child. Yes, you can both work, but you also need to both make time to spend with your child and give them the right setup for when they get older, how to treat, a woman or how to treat a man, and, teach them responsibilities. And that's where I stand.
Kind of back to the last question. We're more nurturing. We take care of the house. We take care of the kids, the grocery shopping, cooking, cleaning. The men are supposed to be the breadwinners. This day and age, it's kind of like the women are too. But it still doesn't equal out. Just because we make more money, we still have to do all the nurturing and the housekeeping and stuff. They usually do the yard work and the watching of the football games, making sure the remote is good and the batteries are all good in that, and the video games. They got that down pat.
Well, actually, I teach parenting classes, so I'm pretty informed about this. And there's one in one of my classes I teach about how that, again, I will use the word mothers are more nurturing. We are caregivers, and usually when we are parenting our child, we are there. We're trying to comfort them, teach them, and when the dad walks in the door, he is the toy, and the kids play with him. He's usually the fun guy. He's usually the one, but usually the caregiver that teaches them things about knowledge of certain things, but I think that the mother is teaching continually from the day that they're born.